Welcome back to the garage, gang. Strap in tight. It's time for another token teardown, and if you're new here, this is where we take your favorite coin, roll it into the bay, and break it down for you. Before we fire up the tools, big shout out to Christian, aka Triple X, the research pit chief who fuels every teardown with the data and horsepower that keep this garage running wide open. Without him, we wouldn't have the traction to bring you clean laps week after week. Now, this week's ride comes straight from the Animoca factory floor. MOCA Network, $, a project claiming to bring digital identity into the fast lane of Web3, luxury, power, precision, privacy. But here's the question, Garage Gang. Is Mocha really the Porsche Panamera Turbo S of Web3, or just another four-door sedan with a spoiler and a body kit? And of course, we'll hit price predictions, because that's everyone's favorite lane. But first, we've got to see what this thing's really made of. All right, Garage Gang, helmets on, because it's time to find out. Every legendary machine starts with a crew that knows how to push limits, and this one's tuned by some of the biggest names in the game, Animoca brands. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it should. These are the same people who built the sandbox, helped power Axie Infinity, and have investments in over 500 Web3 projects across gaming, NFTs, and DeFi. When you hear Animoca, think of them as the Ferrari factory of Web3. They don't just make engines, they build entire racing ecosystems. In the driver's seat is Yatsu, Animoca's co-founder and chairman, a guy who's been pioneering the digital economy since before crypto was cool. He started out in the early internet days with music tech. Yes, real Web 1 stuff. And when he saw how centralized Web 2 became, he made it his mission to give users ownership over their digital lives. That mission turned Animoca into a multi-billion-dollar Web3 powerhouse, with backers like Temasek, Sequoia China, and SoftBank Vision Fund. So yeah, this isn't some influencer coin. This is a professional-grade operation with pedigree. Right next to him in the pit is Kenneth Sheck, the hands-on builder leading MOCA Network. Kenneth's background? He's an engineer's engineer, deep into distributed systems, AI, and blockchain architecture. Before Mocha, he worked across Asia's tech scene, building enterprise-scale software for some of the biggest firms in the region. In this race, he's the guy tuning every bolt, making sure Mocha's tech doesn't just run, it purrs. And they're not alone. This pit crew is stacked. OKX Ventures, Republic Crypto, Sequoia China, Ton Foundation, Outlier Ventures, names you usually see funding entire ecosystems, not just one project. That's like having Porsche, Shell, and Michelin all backing your race car from day one. Together, they're building MOCA Network to be the digital identity infrastructure for the open metaverse. A system where every gamer, artist, and brand can verify who they are across platforms without handing over control of their data to big tech. In plain garage talk, they're not just building a faster car, they're paving the whole track for everyone else to race on. All right, Garage Gang, let's lift this hood and see what Mocha's really packing underneath. Because what they've built here isn't a meme motor or some off-the-shelf engine. It's a custom-built Layer 1 blockchain designed for identity, privacy, and performance. Now, first off, Layer 1, or L1 for the coders in the garage. That means Mocha isn't a bolt-on part running on someone else's frame. It's the chassis itself, the foundation. Just like Ethereum or Solana, it owns its own road, writes its own rules, and doesn't have to rent garage space from another chain. For everyone else, think of it like this. Most tokens are body kits. They look cool, but sit on someone else's frame. Mocha built the whole car from the ground up. And under that hood, it's powered by a zero-knowledge proof engine. The crypto world calls it a ZK system. Now, for the engineers, that's cryptographic math that lets you prove something's true without showing your data. For the rest of us, picture showing a race marshal your license without revealing your home address or insurance details. They know you're cleared to drive, but they don't see your personal info. That's ZK, privacy without losing verification. Mocha's flavor of this tech is called ZK TLS proofs. TLS, that's the same encryption that secures websites. When you see the little lock icon on your browser, Mocha wraps that tech in zero-knowledge logic, so it can turn everyday Web 2 actions like a game score, a forum post, or a loyalty reward into verified on chain credentials. You don't leak your identity, you just carry the proof. It's like having your racing stats tattooed on the car's ECU, readable by the system, but locked from prying eyes. Now, the part that makes this plug and play for bathers is AirKit, MOCA's SDK. That stands for Software Development Kit. For the coders taking notes, it's basically a toolbox full of pre-built identity modules. Drop it into your dApp or Gain, and boom, you've got Web3 logins, credential management, and data ownership ready to roll. For the rest of the crew, think of AirKit like a performance tuner for your app. Instead of rebuilding the motor, you install this kit and instantly add identity horsepower. That's why brands love it. It saves time, keeps users safe, and makes Web3 feel like Web 2 speed. Then there's Mocha Chain itself, the drivetrain tying it all together, built on proof of stake. That means instead of burning gas like proof of work with miners, this system runs on stake tokens or fuel commitments. Validators lock up Mocha to secure the network, earn rewards, and keep the car running smooth. It's cleaner, faster, and more efficient, like upgrading from a diesel engine to a turbo hybrid. And for the deads in the pit, yes, it's EVM compatible. That's Ethereum Virtual Machine for the coders. It means Ethereum smart contracts can deploy here with zero rewrites. For the rest of the garage, basically that means any mechanic who already knows how to tune an Ethereum engine can work on a Mocha without learning new tools. Same socket set, new horsepower. But Mocha didn't stop there. They wired it up with LayerZero, an omni-chain protocol. Tech talk first. LayerZero enables messaging between blockchains without centralized middlemen. Plain talk, it's the transmission that lets Mocha shift gears across multiple blockchains. Ethereum, Base, Ton, all without stalling. Your identity moves seamlessly across different roads. No detours, no breakdowns. Now here's where it gets spicy. This thing isn't a prototype. It's already running laps. OK Cashback in South Korea is integrating Mocha IDs for 28 million users. OneFootball, MyAnimeList, Ubisoft, and even Ton are building with it. So while most identity projects are still sketching blueprints, Mocha's got the engine mounted, fluids top, and is already test driving the mainnet. So to break it down, Garage Gang, zero knowledge proofs equals your data stays private while your credentials stay verified. AirKit SDK equals bolt-on identity performance kit for apps. Proof of stake chain equals energy-efficient drivetrain that rewards those who keep it secure. EVM compatible equals Ethereum builders can wrench on it without retraining. LayerZero Omnichain equals the gearbox that connects every blockchain highway. That's the kind of engineering you usually only see on factory race cars, tuned for reliability, speed, and safety, all at once. All right, Garage Gang, now that we've looked under the hood, let's talk about why this car even needed to be built. Here's the problem. Every time you log into an app, you hand your personal keys to somebody else's valet. Sign in with Google, sign in with Apple, connect with Facebook. That's not you driving. That's you riding shotgun while big tech takes the wheel. Mocha saw that mess and said, enough of the rental cars. They want to hand the keys back to the driver. You. For the coders in the Bay, this means building self-sovereign identity infrastructure, cryptographically signed credentials stored on-chain, verified by zero-knowledge proofs, and portable across any network. For everyone else, think of it like this. Instead of juggling 10 different car keys for 10 different rides, Mocha gives you one master key that works everywhere, and only you can copy it. Now let's be honest, Mocha isn't the flashiest token on the track. It's not dropping meme coins or pumping hype, it's laying asphalt. It's building the actual road the rest of Web3 will need to drive on. And in that lane, there aren't many competitors who can even stay in the mirrors. Sure, there's Polygon ID, Polygon ZK credential system, but that's more like an upgrade kit inside a bigger car, not its own race machine. Then you've got Civic CVC and Kilt Protocol, the older models from the early blockchain days. Good intentions, but they never really hit full throttle with real users. WorldCoin, Weldy, Whole different beast. Biometric verification with an orb that scans your eyeballs. That's like using a jet engine on a go-kart track. Fast, but kind of terrifying. And Lens Protocol or ENS are more like custom paint jobs, focused on usernames and social flair, not true identity. That's why Mocha stands out. It's got Animoca's 700 million user ecosystem behind it. Real integrations with OK Cashbag, OneFootball, and Ubisoft. And it's the only project using ZK-TLS, that's Zero Knowledge Transport Layer Security, to convert your Web 2 logins and data into verifiable Web 3 credentials. For the devs, that means privacy-preserving proofs generated from regular internet activity. For everyone else, it means your everyday digital life can plug straight into Web 3 safely, seamlessly, and without needing to start over. So yeah, Mocha might not be the loudest car on the grid, but when it comes to decentralized identity, it's the Porsche Panamera Turbo S surrounded by concept cars. The others are still sketching blueprints. Mocha's already doing laps. Now, to the tokenomics. Wait, let me explain what that even means. Tokenomics is the fancy finance word for how the fuel system works, how tokens are created, distributed, burned, and used to keep the engine running. So yeah, for the coders, it's emission curves, vesting schedules, and supply mechanics. For the rest of the garage, it's the gas tank, how full it is, how fast it burns, and who gets to pump it. So here's what's under the trunk. Mocha is the fuel that keeps this whole identity motor running. Total supply, around 8.8 billion tokens. That's the full tank. Right now, about 3.9 billion are already on the track, roughly 45% in circulation. The rest, it's locked in the pit for the team, investors, and ecosystem growth, dripping out through 2026 so it doesn't flood the market all at once. Mocha runs a fixed supply model, meaning no extra gas magically appears later. There's no inflation, turbo minting new tokens forever. Instead, it has a burn mechanism. Part of every transaction fee or service payment gets torched permanently. That's like an engine tuned to run hot. It burns a little bit of its own fuel every lap to keep performance tight and efficient. When Mocha Chain goes live, validators and stakers will use Mocha to secure the network, locking tokens to keep the system honest and earning yield for it. If you're staking early through Mochaverse, you're basically in the loyalty program, collecting reward miles before the full race starts. Mocha wears a lot of hats. It's the gas token, the stuff that powers every verification and login. It's the collateral, securing the chain when staked. It's the governance chip, letting holders vote on how the network evolves. And it's the loyalty booster, baked into the Animoca ecosystem across games, NFTs, and partner platforms. At roughly 5 cents per token and a $200 million market cap, Mocha's not the loudest engine on the starting grid, but it's one of those quiet turbo builds that might surprise the field once the flag drops. Because the more apps and partners plug in, the more transactions happen, and the more dollar Mocha gets burned or staked, tightening supply while adoption accelerates. That's when the torque curve starts bending up. Fewer tokens, more utility, and a system that feeds itself with every mile. Who's driving it? Real users, real traction, real road ahead. Because let's be honest, gang, no matter how slick a car looks or how many trophies it's won in concept shows, if nobody's driving it, what's the point? Every chain talks about partnerships. Every white paper says mass adoption. But Mocha's already rolled off the line and put miles on the odometer. Here's who's actually behind the wheel right now. Hey Planet's OK Cashbag, South Korea's largest rewards platform with over 28 million active users, already using Mocha to issue blockchain-powered loyalty rewards through something called AirShop. That's not just testnet traffic. That's real-world volume running through a Mocha engine. OneFootball, with 200 million global users, is next, integrating Mocha's identity layer for fan rewards, where verified users can earn points, collect NFTs, and participate in tokenized club events. If you're a football fan in Europe, you might already be touching Mocha tech without knowing it. My Anime List, the anime and manga social hub, branded its own anime ID system on Mocha. That's right, your otaku credentials are officially on chain. They've even hinted at integrating reputation for contributors and reviewers, a clever way to reward verified fans instead of bots. Ubisoft, yes, that Ubisoft, has kicked the tires, exploring how Mocha's credentials could power in-game IDs or digital collectibles. Open Campus is testing Mocha for verifiable education certificates. Kaya could use it for fitness achievements, and ZKMe plugs in as the identity verifier under the hood. This isn't some maybe one day pipeline. It's a live ecosystem with Web 2 giants testing Web 3 traction. That's what separates Mocha from most of the cars parked on the blockchain lot. Now on the upgrade side, Mocha Chain, their Layer 1 mainnet, is the big one on the horizon. It's fully EVM compatible, meaning any developer who knows how to build on Ethereum can deploy instantly. And it's powered by LayerZero, making it omnichannel from day one. So, whether you're on Ethereum, Base, or Ton, your identity travels with you. That's like buying a car that can drive on any track. No conversion kit needed. Security-wise, Mocha has been tightening every bolt. Audited token contracts, verified code, a formal bug bounty, and zero exploits to date. The Mocha Chain mainnet will launch with validator staking and open APIs for developers. They'll also open source their node software and SDKs after testnet stabilization, so anyone can build, fork, or even run their own pit crew. And of course, there's a roadmap, because every solid build needs one. Mainnet launch, bring the POS chain live, and activate validator staking. Open source, release full node code and dev documentation for the community. Ecosystem growth, integrate more Animoca portfolio apps and new enterprise partners. AI integration, pilot verifiable IDs for AI agents, self-verifying bots and virtual assistants that prove they're real code, not scams. DAO activation, launch the Mocha DAO so token holders can steer future upgrades, community-led, garage style. So yeah, this car's not just in the showroom, it's already on the road with serious drivers and a mapped out track ahead. And while it might not have the meme power of a Lambo or the clout of a Ferrari, it's built to last. A precision German engineered Panamera that can actually go the distance. All right, Garage Gang, this is what you've been waiting for. The money section. Our price predictions for when the crypto world finally grows up. Let's set the baseline. Crypto isn't chaos anymore. It's infrastructure. Banks use blockchain, AI firms have wallets, governments and gamers all share the same rails. The total crypto market climbs from about $3.8 trillion today to $20 trillion. That's a 5 times expansion. And it's not a moonshot. It's a mature digital economy hitting its stride. And remember, we don't deal in hopium here. We deal in torque, truth, and math that's been triple checked by Lulu herself. Cruise mode, the steady lane. In this version of the world, everything just works. Regulations make sense, adoption keeps expanding, and Mocha executes cleanly. Mainnet launches, partners stay active, and decentralized identity becomes part of everyday life. If the whole market grows 5 times and Mocha simply keeps its slice of the pie, its price should move about the same. Price target, around 25 cents. That's roughly a 5 times gain from where we are today. Not flashy, but solid performance in a stable market. Smooth cruising, predictable torque, no surprises. Overtake mode, the momentum build. Now the fun begins. Identity becomes the next big narrative. Every major brand wants decentralized login. Developers start dropping in Mocha's Air Kit like it's Bluetooth. Staking and burning trim the supply. And those unlocks get absorbed as new demand floods in. This is where Mocha starts taking market share, not just keeping up. The Panamera Turbo S drops into sport mode, traction lights blinking as it launches out of the curve. Price target? About 75 cents. That's around a 15 times move from today's level. Strong acceleration, steady grip, serious power. Full send, the moonshot lap. Now picture this. Crypto hits $20 trillion. Mocha becomes the identity engine for the entire metaverse. Animoca's 700 million user ecosystem runs on Mocha IDs. AI agents verify themselves on chain, and Web3 logins become the new internet standard. That's full send territory. The Panamera screaming down the straightaway at Redline. Crowd on its feet, tires smoking. Price target around $2.25. That's roughly a 45 times move from where we sit today. Massive torque, maximum risk. Because when you're this far in the power band, one wrong shift, an exploit, a regulatory curveball, a partner delay, and it's a hard spin. Black swan scenario. When the engine blows, we always run the risk test. If adoption stalls, partners pause, or unlocks outpace demand, Mocha could lose traction fast. In that world, price slides to around 3 cents. That's the engine failure scenario. Rare, but every racer plans for the wall before the turn. Lulu's final readout, cruise mode, about 25 cents, steady and stable. Overtake mode, around 75 cents, momentum and traction. Full send, roughly $2.25. Global identity domination, Black Swan, mere 3 cents, the caution flag. So there it is, Garage Gang, the dyno pull, the truth, and the torque. If everything fires, Mocha's the Panamera Turbo S of Web3, a precision build with real horsepower. If not, it's still one of the few cars in crypto actually built to go the distance. Torque doesn't lie, but markets sometimes do. Okay, the math isn't bad, right? The torque looks good, the top end's strong, Mocha's holding its own on the dyno. But hold up, before you go refinance the house, call your cousin Vinny and ape headfirst into Mocha. Let's get one thing straight. None of this is financial advice. We're here to educate, entertain, and maybe make you laugh before the next candle prints red. And just to make sure everyone's on the same page, especially if this is your first time hanging out in the garage, let's introduce the brains behind all these numbers. Our head of technical analysis here isn't some Wall Street quant or TikTok day trader. It's Lulu the pig. Yes, a pig. 4 hooves, curly tail, pink snout, and a snoot for charts sharper than most degen stop losses. She doesn't eat slop, she eats candlesticks. She can smell an RSI divergence from across the farm. So yeah, I'd put Lulu up against some of the best chart guys and gals in the biz. But if you're taking financial advice from a pig, well, buddy, you might deserve what happens next. All right, now that that's clear, let's talk Dyno Score. After running Mocha through every gear, every test, every scenario, here's where Lulu lands. Technology, 9 out of 10. Real ZK tech, omni-chain from day one, and an identity system that actually works. Not vapor, verified torque. Team, 9 out of 10. Animoca brands behind the wheel. Yatsiu and Kenneth Sheck know how to build, fund, and scale. You couldn't ask for a stronger pick crew. Tokenomics, 8 out of 10. Fixed supply, burns in place, staking coming, but future unlocks still in the mix through 2027. That's the one dent in the fender. Product progress, 8.5 out of 10. Mainnet's loading, pilots are live, and real partners already using it. This isn't just theory, it's traction. Community, 8 out of 10. Not the loudest crowd in crypto, but strong loyalty and growing numbers. And with Animoca's reach, that garage will fill up fast. Narrative and timing, 8 out of 10. Identity, AI, privacy, all trending lanes. If these narratives keep picking up speed, Mocha's already in pole position. Regulatory and execution risk, 6 out of 10. Because hey, we're talking about identity. If the SEC or privacy watchdogs start sniffing around, there's a few yellow flags on the track. Alpha potential, 9 out of 10. If identity truly becomes the next big meta, Mocha's torque curve could go vertical. That's not hopium, that's physics. Average dyno score, 8.3 out of 10. Certified contender, garage approved. So yeah, Mocha might not be the loudest car in the crypto lot, but it's one of the few actually built for long distance runs, and it's got a real engine under the hood. If you like this teardown, smash that like button, hit follow, and share it. From the DGen who apes into pre-sales at 3 a.m. to the mechanic still rocking a flip phone, this garage is for you. And hey, if there's a project you want to see up on the lift next week, drop it in the comments. We read them all. It might take a bit, but trust us, we see you. Also, check out our website, gurucryptogarage.guru. It's totally free. Our way of giving back to the community that keeps this garage running full throttle. Charts, updates, deep dives, all in one place. We're building this channel one DGen at a time, and with your help, this garage is going to be the go-to pit stop for real crypto research. Until next time, keep your charts tight, your wallet safe, and make sure you let it rip.